Welcome to Dead Time. I hope you're ready for some hauntingly intriguing and mysterious stories. I'm your host, Mike Wapshall.
And I'm Katrina Genovesan. Today we'll explore the Quinte region in search of stories from beyond.
Some explained.
And many unexplained.
Do you believe that we were visited by the other side?
Some people apparently don't, but what we're about to show you might change your mind.
First off, we head to Kingston, Ontario. Fort Henry was built by the British during the War of 1812 to protect the land from a possible American attack.
It's been designated as a National Historic Site of Canada since 2007, but it has more than a historical background that draws people to its site.
Fort Henry is one of the most haunted places in all of Ontario. Many of the people who work there have reported seeing strange and unexplainable things. Well, I don't know, Katrina, it seems a little iffy. What do you think about the whole thing?
No, I totally believe in ghosts. In fact, I like to think there could be something beyond death, and I think that Fort Henry is a perfect example of that.
What makes you say that? Hearing footsteps or seeing things possibly being moved? What leads you to believe that there could be ghosts there?
Well, you're doubting may be right, Mike, but I think we should let our audience decide that for themselves. Let's take a look.
The fort has, a very long and illustrious history, and because of that, a lot of things have happened here. We've had paranormal groups that have visited the fort, and they've sort of echoed that statement that they've found evidence of strange things there.
At night, they see his spirit walking around the ditch.
There are things that can't be explained.
I've had doors slammed shut on me multiple times. One by one, they'll shut behind you. I have a hard time not believing that something's going on.
Fort Henry is one of Canada's most haunted historical sites. The fort strategically overlooks the St. Lawrence River and the city of Kingston, Ontario. It was originally built during the War of 1812 to defend Upper Canada and the vital St. Lawrence shipping route. Although never attacked, it has quite a storied past.
It's considered one of the more haunted places in North America.
In one set of our West Officers' Quarters, which is a museum display with glass in front of it, so nobody can really get in or out, they've had multiple accounts of walking by and seeing the one rocking chair that's in there, rocking back and forth, and there's no reason, there's nobody in there, nobody knows why that happens.
Niels von Schultz ended up spending his last night at the fort in one of the officers' quarters, and then later the next morning was hung until dead. British officers had, there was records of them complaining about the room being colder than all of the others. Something strange is about the room, and quite a few different similar stories to that. That room that he spent his last night is said to be forever haunted by von Schultz.
Fort Henry has a number of rooms all interconnected through a series of passageways, which are linked to one long hallway. The soldiers' barracks, schoolhouse, and wine cellar were all accessible. Many soldiers would sneak off to the wine cellar for a late night drink. If caught, they were punished for this offense. The bakery was also one of the rooms connected by this hallway. It is in this room that some have witnessed several strange occurrences.
In the bakery, there's said to be a poltergeist. There's multiple accounts of people leaving for a short period of time, coming back. Everything has been scattered everywhere. Also, there tends to be a lot of doors slamming for no reason, basically. And also there's reports of people trying to get in or out of that room and having a heck of a time getting in or out. And then somebody else tries and they have no problem just opening the door.
The center of Fort Henry, known as the Parade Square, also has its fair share of hauntings.
In the parade square, there was what's called the wandering bombardier. So there was a soldier who was being disciplined, had to march in the heat, middle of the day, and ended up suffering from heat stroke and ended up dying.
In the winter, somebody's here alone and then they hear footsteps outside and they go and they look and they follow footsteps and then they just end in the middle of the parade square and there's no direction that they go, but there's no person standing there.
So that has become known as the wandering bombardier, who still haunts the parade square, day or night.
Beneath the parade square, deep in Fort Henry, lies a series of interconnecting tunnels. These tunnels lead to various battlements that would have been used in times of war if the fort was ever attacked. Within these tunnels, many stories of ghostly sounds and sightings exist.
The one gentleman was a gunner, I believe. He fell down a set of stairs and died, and it's in that one passageway that, they say that they see things.
In the West Rivers fire chambers, there was areas where they're hearing breaking glass or something smashing, and upon inspection, there's no person found or no broken material or glass. Even the noise happens again. There's witnesses, they hear it. So there's a couple of other spots that have definitely come to be renowned as well, I guess.
We've had Fort Henry Guard tell us that they've had a presence that has actually fully pushed them out of the tunnels. They just can't help it, they need to get out.
Apparitions seen walking about the fort, breaking glass, voices, objects moving around without an explanation. Fort Henry has been open to the public as a museum since 1936. Today, visitors can arrange to visit this historical site and see and hear for themselves if there's anything that exists in dead time.
Well, there was some pretty cool shots and everything in that video there, Katrina, but I'm still not certain on it. I'm not 100% sold of the ghosts of Fort Henry.
Well, have you ever been there?
Of course I have. I live in Kingston. Have you?
I have been there, and whenever I go there, I get a spooky, kind of eerie feeling.
I've been there on multiple occasions. I don't get that feeling, so I'm going to put that one out the window.
Well, I know you find it hard to believe, Mike, but some of our crew that went there have this picture that they just can't explain. This is Will. He was our camera guy. Will, what do you have here that you wanted to show us?
So what we have is in one of the hallways underneath Fort Henry, there's an orb that we took a picture of, and it wasn't there in real life, but whenever we took the picture and we looked at it later, there was this orb that we couldn't explain, and we're underground, so there's no sunlight peeking in or anything.
Couldn't it just be a reflection off a light or a dust bunny or something like that?
Well, that's the thing though, we thought the same thing, but if it was a dust bunny or something, the light would be coming from a different direction and it wouldn't show up like that on the camera. So we're not sure what it is. It could be a ghost, it could be something else, but the way we felt in that hall was a little weird, and that showing up on camera.
Believe, Mike, believe.
No, well, I was going to say, I appreciate you bringing that in.
No problem.
Thanks
for having me, guys.
Let us know what you thought of our stories. Email us at deadtimetv@gmail.com. After the break, we'll return with some information from stories around the world.
Welcome back to Dead Time. With so many stories about ghosts, mysterious creatures, and hauntings in the Quinte region alone, it's hard to imagine the endless tales from around the world.
James Boyle has become our specialist on faraway stories that make up a haunting world.
Around the world since the beginning